For you, Taurus, most of the month is basically waiting for the new moon in your sign that will happen on the 27th of April. Luckily, you are okay with enjoying yourself while being in a bit of a limbo. This time in limbo is best spent reconnecting with the communities and maybe old acquaintances that are respected and respectable. This has to do with Mercury and Venus being retrograde and in their retrograde movement slowly approaching the Sirius Saturn that is full of gravitas and is working now in your astrological area of networking and socializing. It's also a good time for a final revision of your long-term plans for life in general. That's also Saturn in Pisces responsibility. Like, where do you see yourself in 10 years, in 20 years? And how serious should you get about yourself if this is where you want to be in 20 years? It's always easier to get where you want to go if people from your social circle are going more or less in the same direction. So try fostering relationships with people who are, especially during the first half of the month. For the very late, mid-May Taurus people, it's especially important to find their tribe because you are still working with the revolutionary Uranus, so you still need to individualize a little bit to find your own path. You have something like 1 year left to do this, and connecting with serious, respectable people who support you in your unconventional ways can be the key to success for you. So if it is you, try making the most out of the first 10 days of April, let's say, doing just that. Being true to yourself, talking about what you find meaningful now, but to the right people. Maybe you will have to do some work in order to convince them to gain their trust. If you have to do it, absolutely worth it. Mercury will end its retrograde on the 7th of April, Venus on the 13th. And with this, you will be able to switch from revision and from reconnecting with people to actual planning and maybe expanding your social circle. But this expansion will mostly be possible after you have found something to lean on, some support and approval from people you and others respect, or your inner very serious resolve about where you want to be in the future and how hard you are ready to work for it. The 13th is not just the day when Venus ends its retrograde, but it's also the day of full moon in Venus-ruled sign of Libra. That is in your astrological area of daily routine tasks. It's best if you use this full moon to shake up your routines a little bit and to focus on things that give you the most energy, which could also be the projects that are urgent. Urgency has this tendency to energize people. Both Mercury and Venus will leave Pisces for Aries this month. Mercury on the 16th, Venus at the very end of the month on the 30th. For you, it means dialing down on your communications and, importantly, on your wish to charm everyone around you. Dial it down, conserve your libido as well as your smarts. Let them go through a process of transformation internally. While Mercury and Venus are in Aries, it's a great time for very private creative projects, for self-reflection, for flights of imagination, but maybe not for making a public stand trying to promote the thing that you now most believe in. Mars entering Leo on the 18th will give you more energy to deal with home and family related tasks. But if you are an early Taurus, born between the 20th and let's say 25th of April, the second half of month will be a super stressful time for you. That is because Mars entering Leo will activate Pluto that is already in Aquarius. And they both will start putting pressure on your sun if you're very early Taurus. That is a lot of pressure. And it may have something to do with the home-work balance or with your official status, or maybe a conflict with your boss, or a conflict between people you love and your ambition. In any case, all this tension will lead you straight to the new moon in your own sign that will happen finally on the 27th of April. And that will be a great reset point for you. I would recommend you to use the day of the new moon and maybe even a couple of days after that to make important decisions and to take a few first steps in the direction of your choosing. All of this, considering what you have learned about home, family, status, ambition, conflict and tension in your life. Make choices considering all that and start acting.